Peace and blessings to you. I hope this message finds you doing well. Today, in this Ancestral Pathways video, I want to talk about receiving divine messages, getting divine directives to do some things that you know is going to improve your life, the quality of your life, the quality of your family. You know, what is your ancestors telling you to do and why you're not doing it? So sometimes we're going along our path, and those of us who are in ancestral consciousness, those who have set the intention, who are working with our ancestors, who know that these messages are coming through from our ancestors, sometimes we have some blocks and we're like, why aren't we following these directives? Why does it take us so long to do what we're told to do, what we're guided to do? So, and I will talk about those who are not who are not in the energy, or who was getting in the energy of ancestral consciousness and working with your ancestors. I will talk about that. But for those of us who are in this energy, when we get those divine messages, whether we get the message from a reader, whether we get the message from through our dreams, whether we get the message through prayer, through meditation, heck, whether we get it from a billboard, we get it from a TV, we get it from a magazine, we get it through another person, through another family member, however those messages come through to us, however our ancestors get the messages to us, we get this directive, and sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes we just don't do what they are guiding us to do. Sometimes, we get the message just through our instincts. Our instincts is ancient wisdom. We get it through, just what our soul is urging us to do. We get the message and the directive through our thoughts. Our thoughts are really antennas to connect us with our ancestors, but also they place things in our minds, they place things in our heart and give us ideas to kind of urge us and move us along unbeknownst. And those of us who are in ancestral consciousness, we are aware of this, and we know that this message and this directive is coming from our ancestors. We know this already for ourselves. So what happens when you get something and you're procrastinating, and then it becomes cyclical? Then you become you feel guilty. Then you feel like you're stuck because you're not moving yourself forward in the energy and the divine directive that your ancestors told you to do. I do this. I deal with this. I do this in a way that sometimes is procrastination. So yes, am I kind? Am I patient? Am I compassionate with myself? And am I gentle with myself? Do I have understanding because I am a human being? Absolutely. But there are times that I know that I need to get a fire under me. There are times that I know I should have already done something because it's for the betterment. And when you know that it's for the betterment of yourself, because we are an evolving ancestor ourselves. Everything we do and everything we don't do will have an reflection on our blood, which will be passed on to the next generation. And and we'll see even in our own life. We'll see it in a couple of years. Babies perhaps taking care of yourself, or y'all know I'm outside, or something like that. And then down the road, you see what you didn't do, or what you had been guided to do for preventative things. Our ancestors work with us in all kind of ways. So when we're talking about working with our ancestors, we're not talking about worship. We're talking about we have a reverence. We honor our ancestors, and in honoring our ancestors, we follow that divine guidance that's going to be for the betterment and the evolution of ourselves, and thus our bloodline. So when I think about working with my ancestors, spiritually working with my ancestors, is listening to that guidance, is getting that energy and exchanging that energy with them, is getting healing from them and me sending healing to them, is me giving them energy so that they can work on my behalf spiritually, and it's also me listening to those divine directives because they're giving it to me to physically move. And as I physically move, I create this energy and I do this. And then the spirit influences the mundane, and the mundane influences the spirit. And really there is no mundane because we're all spirit. Okay, so and that's how that works. There is always an exchange of energy in the spiritual realm. So we exchange energy with our ancestors through offerings, through sending love and light, through prayer, through meditation, and all of these things, But I didn't really want to get into that. But I want to talk about is being honest with yourself. So when you are honest with yourself, I should have did this, Right now it's time for me to order a crystal, that's going to help me connect with my ancestors better. It's time. Something else, a rose of Jericho that's been placed on my heart. I ordered it last night. It's time. But I had to stop and think, some of the other major things I'm supposed to be doing. Why? What's blocking me from doing it? So I began to pray to my ancestors about the block. Like, why am I doing this? Historically, I'm a person who procrastinate. I'm honest with myself about that. So I asked my ancestors, I'm praying about this block. What is this? What is this that's stopping me from doing, the divine guidance of what you're telling me to do, because it's only for my good. What is it? So I had to be honest, and that's where self-inquiry come in. Like, okay, if I'm honest with myself, what is this? And what came up was my worth, my self-worth, and me feeling like somewhere in there that I'm unworthy for this highest good. I'm unworthy for this higher quality of life. I'm unworthy for the goodness that they're bestowing on me, that they're directing me and they're guiding me to do for my life, for my spiritual development, for my personal development. That's the truth. That's what came up. So I had to think about, okay, what is the block? So if you're dealing with this and you're like, it's cyclical, I feel guilty, I'm not doing this, I know my ancestors are telling me to do this, but I'm dragging my feet, I'm feeling stuck, what is it? Be honest with yourself. Then your prayer is going to be about, how can you show me how to remove this block? Can you show me what it is in me that's stopping me from doing what y'all are suggesting for me to do? If for me personally, it was me feeling unworthy. So then I'm praying about that. I'm working through that. So then I could take those steps. So then I'm free because it's illuminated. The issue has been illuminated. So now I could pray on that issue. Now I could take steps about that issue, and it makes it easier for me to do the divine directives that my ancestors told me to do. So I hope that blesses you, because it blessed me today. So if you are the type of person who's like, I don't really know, I'm new to ancestral consciousness, I'm new to working with my ancestors, I don't really know if the message is coming from them, if it's coming from an angel, if it's coming from a God, or if it's coming from my higher self, well, then you set the intention and you ask them. You remember, you are the altar yourself. If you are not in a place where you have an altar, which is essentially a place of exchange of energy, that's what an altar is. It's an exchange of energy. There is always an exchange of energy and spirit. So if you do not have an altar, or you don't have a set day and time that you talk to your ancestors, all this stuff, you yourself are the altar. You can simply just pray. Drink you a glass of water. A glass of water is a conduit. Drink you some water. Get you an ancestral journal. Commit to a journal. That's your journal. That's your place of exchange with your ancestors. You write them love letters. You do automatic writing, and you have them talk back to you. You drink that water to help you. Set out the water on the side of your table for them to come to your dreams. I've talked about this in many of my other videos, and you could go back. But remember, keep it simple if you are in the beginning of working with your ancestors. But when they give you something, and in your heart, because already said, ancestors, I'm here, I'm open to receive these messages from you. Come into my thoughts, come into my dreams, show me, send people my way, show me however you show me, and you are beginning to put that energy towards working with your ancestors, you're gonna know that is them trying to give you that sign, it's them giving you that direction. And that's where it's for us to follow it, because you know that it's only for your good. So I hope that this blesses you. It's blessed me. I had to get to the A. You got to do that soul inquiry. You got to get to the bottom. Like, what is this? You know what I mean? Why am I not moving in this? I know it's for my good. What is this block? Praying about that block, then illuminating that block, then it set me free, because I am worthy, and I know I'm worthy of all of the divine directives that's going to benefit my life. But it had to be illuminated. So blessings, love, and light to you all. You remember, you can find me at internetduo.com. I hope that this blesses you. I do all types of readings. If you want to get a message channeled from your ancestors in particular, let me know. This is my divine work. It's to work through my ancestors. God bless you.